Welcome to Sports Extra, your premium online sports show. My name is Rumbo Chakoreka. I'm your host. This week, we're going to be talking a whole lot about what happened in the schoolboy arena because there were some big victories, in particular for Peterhouse. That was a lap of honor, but we'll be talking a little bit more about that. Also, in terms of schoolboy football, David Mutendera has taken his team to 20 unbeaten matches. He has been able to win 20 matches, and I think this man is on a serious roll. But we're also going to be talking very specifically about the Sables, who are going to be taking on Namibia in the semi-finals of the Rugby Africa Cup. And we do hope they get past them, and maybe we might meet Kenya or Algeria. Whatever happens in their semi-final, we'll see what will happen there. And of course, finally, we'll be talking about transfers on news and what happened in the British Grand Prix in Formula One, a historic win for Carlos Sainz there. So stay locked on as we bring you all this content and more. Well, I do have our resident analyst here. That's Sydney Samanu. Sydney, welcome once again to the show. I know as Liverpool people, you're walking around bouncing and thinking that you're all that and more because you've got Darwin Nunes. We'll see whether that will actually pay dividends. But in any case, great to have you, Sid. Let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with the Sables. We know that the Sables are going to be taking on Namibia in a do-or-die encounter. It's the semi-finals of the Rugby Africa Cup. They actually overcame Cote d'Ivoire 38 points to 11, just in case you didn't know. And it was a good victory for them. Now it's on to the tougher stuff.
Yeah, Namibia. They've been a stumbling block to our team. We've been attempting to qualify for the World Cup for the past 31 years. And it has been Namibia. We've been standing in our way. But I hope this time around that Dawson is going to come up with something, and then we just need a victory. It doesn't have to be clean, it doesn't have to be nice. All we need to do is just to get over the line and play whoever we're playing in the final. But I'm pretty sure that Dawson, as we were talking earlier off air, that there were a couple of guys that were missing in that victory against Cote d'Ivoire. Tomondo and a couple of guys, Johan Stander, ex-under-20 South African player, as well as another gentleman who played in the University Cup final in Twickenham, an English-based player, a back rower. I'm pretty sure that if those guys play maybe day after tomorrow against Namibia, I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to come up with a victory. I'm really confident this time around. Our preparation has been on point. We played over 16 weeks of rugby with the same team, and I'm pretty sure that at this point the team has gelled. And obviously, the fitness aspect of things, we are more than match fit as it stands.
All right, so let's also take things into perspective. Let's review that match against Cote d'Ivoire. Now, one of the major things to point out is the likes of Matthew McNabb. I mean, how much has he come in leaps and bounds? I know you're a fan of Matthew McNabb, and he delivered on a high level, provided an assist, got a try himself as well. I mean, how well do you think he has developed in this side?
Well, he came in the fold back in the Peter de Villiers days. That was back in 2017, 2018. He was still a youngster, 20 years, and still a youngster even up to today. And over the years, he was playing as a blindside winger, and now he's being moved to play outside center. You know, he's quite a revelation in this Sables setup. I actually questioned the coach's decision to play him in the midfield because usually he plays a number 13. But we cannot just talk about McNabb. Let's talk about also Shane Makonde, as well as the Currie Cup winner 2022. Our very own Tapiwa Mafura, who has been exceptional for the Sables. Very electric. Every time he gets that ball, he gets it at pace, and he's always looking to pass. You know, subtract the defense and making sure that he gets that pass to the next man. And trust me, that boy, the sky's the limit.
Oh yes, well, we're also talking about some players that will be missing. Aiden Burnett will be missing because of a red card. I'm not happy. I know Aiden could have done much better there. I mean, it just needed emotional intelligence at that particular point. 5 minutes left, 20 points ahead. Scuffles against Cote d'Ivoire were unnecessary. It shows that they were frustrated. We could have actually added more points.
Yeah, look, it's just rugby. That's what happens. I'm pretty sure that I was reading a comment earlier on by Dan Bigger. I'm pretty sure that you know that South Africa escaped by the whisk of the team by 32 points to 29 against Wolves. You know, these confrontations happen at chest level rugby. Look, you can't avoid that. And I'm pretty sure that the coaches, they really allow their players to get into this under the skin of the opponent. So these things happen, but it's how you react. It's how you react to this particular situation. I'm pretty sure that you have been following the international series that have been playing, the series of games that have been playing in this summer. You know, we had over 10 internationals matches being played. And these things happen. These things happen, but it's how you react when someone confronts you. So for Aiden Bennett, it's too bad. Well, according to the article that I read, that was yesterday in the Sunday Mail, they said that they were going to contest the red card. But look, it's not up to us anymore. It's up to the panel, the disciplinary panel, that is. But we are not going to miss him because we've got Tomono, we've got Tarusenga. I'm pretty sure those gentlemen can do more than enough for our team to qualify.
Oh yes, all we do hope for is that we won't leave more points on the field, particularly in terms of our kicking. And I do hope, and in fact I'm sure, that there's going to be a lot of practicing around kicking, because we left close to 6 or 8 points on the field because we couldn't convert our tries well enough. And I think that will be very key against Namibia if we want to win. So this match will be played on Wednesday. We're not so sure of the times as yet, whether it will be played at 6 or it will be played at 9 p.m. But we are wishing the Sables the very best. Go, Sables, go, and do the business, overcome them. Now, quickly, before we move on from this one, Kenya got past Uganda very comfortably.
42-7?
Huge gentlemen. When you look at Kenya, they've got monsters of men on the park there. I mean, you saw even their lock, how he was able to break out of Uganda's grip and then be able to assist, and they got one of their tries. They were big and they were very physical, and I'm sure that's why they overcame Uganda. But when we look at Algeria, they were very, very technical. Yes, maybe Senegal may not be a top rugby side, but guess what? They made the quarterfinals of the Rugby Africa Cup. So I think at this point, we cannot underestimate them, even when we do get into the final. Yeah, you heard me right. When we do get into the final.
I'm sure that we get to the final. Of course, we can talk about all the negative stuff that happened on the field of play against Cote d'Ivoire, but let's not forget about defense. Look, we've conceded 18 points in 2 games. Our defense has been exceptional. So I think what is important for our team is to make sure that we build from there. Look, our defense has been as impressive. 30 points to 7 against Netherlands. Another 30 point victory against Cote d'Ivoire. I really feel that our defense has been exceptional. And when it comes to chess rugby, defense, and I'm not really worried about Kenya because we've beaten them. Remember, a couple of months back in the Carling Cup competition. So it's not going to be a problem. But however, let's see how it pans out on Wednesday.
Oh yes, most definitely. Well, we leave the Sables and we're going to be moving on. Go Sables, go. And we're going to be talking about a school sport next. Welcome back. Let's quickly take a look at what happened in school sport. Well done to St. John's College. They were able to beat St. John's Emerald Hill by 3-0. That was my first time actually watching some of this Chiz ATS football. But in any case, they won by 3-0. A very technical team, I must say. And we caught up with their coach, David Mutendera, who's saying we are looking forward to an unbeaten season, but we have to keep our cool.
No, it's a good side this year. We've had good sides before, but I just think it's our style of play. We're managing to keep the ball. Our ball position is very good, and we've been creating a lot of chances, and that has made us win so many matches. To be honest, it's their skill, to be honest, and in our style of play, like what I said, more ball possession, building from the back. It has made us create a lot of chances, and we managed to come up with a lot of wins. And that's been honestly our secret. We're teaching these boys to play proper football, and it's working in our favor.
Surely at one point you may have wanted to tear your hair out when you saw the goalkeeper just making all those fantastic saves for St. John's Emerald Hill. What was the halftime team talk?
The halftime team talk was we were doing a great job in terms of creating those chances, but we're not composed in front of the ball. And I think we're trying to score of tight angles instead of cutting the ball back in by the penalty area or just outside the 18-yard. We then resolved that, and that worked in the second half. And surely we should have scored at least 3 goals in the first half. But I knew it was coming, and we just had to be patient and make sure that, like what I said earlier, be more composed in front of goal. And credit to the St. John's High goalkeeper. He was good. He made some very good saves, and we managed to finally break their defense and get those 3 goals in the second half.
All right, now 20 matches unbeaten. Where to from here? Are we going for an Arsenal 45 match unbeaten run?
That'll be great, but we got to keep our feet on the ground and still focus as the matches come our way. We focus on our next match, which is going to be a league match against Peterhouse, and that's our main focus. I think if we finish off the season unbeaten, that's a plus, that's a cherry on top. But for now, we're enjoying our success, but we look forward and plan accordingly per match, and not look ahead and say we want to have an unbeaten season. So, like what I said, we just gotta focus on our basics and focus on each game as it comes.
And so David Mutendera there saying maybe we might not be able to do the Arsenal unbeaten run for the season, but who knows? They've got a good team and they'll be looking to press forward from there. I also caught up with their captain, and that is Sizwe Mpofu, and he was also a key component in that victory.
Well, it's all the hard work we put in during training. Mutendera has us working really hard week in, week out, so you see the consistency, you see the fitness, and it shows on the field.
All right, one of the other things that is quite impressive is you play football from the back. Many tend to want to launch the ball up forward. Is that also a part of the system that Coach David is trying to put it into you?
Yes, he's made us a very passing team. Our team also has very good chemistry, as most of us have been playing together throughout our college tenure and even some of the prep. So it all comes with chemistry, it all comes with hard work.
All right, so just looking at this, I stand to be corrected, but close to 20 games that you guys have played and you're still undefeated. What has also been part of that recipe for success? I know that you've come up against other tough teams, but you've been able to get out. What is also part of that recipe?
It's just an amazing team spirit. This team is something special. I don't know if you remember, but the 2019 team also went unbeaten. So ever since then, we've been trying to get to that standard and just keep it going. Don't get cocky. Don't get too overconfident. We respect our opponents and just keep going.
So Sizwe Mpofu is saying that, look, in 2019 we had an undefeated season and we're looking forward to doing it again. 20 matches unbeaten, Sydney. That's no funny joke.
No funny joke. Credit goes to David Mutendera. I know him as a cricket person, but him being able to lead these boys to 20 games unbeaten. Remember, they are also cheeses, soccer champions for 2022 season. The tournament was held at Lomagandi, and look, they've got exceptional athletes. That team is made up of athletes. They don't play, they play the Liverpool type of a game whereby they are looking just to choke you and win all the 50-50 balls. But look, it's a fantastic team to watch. Maybe we should give David Mutendera posts in our...
What warriors?
I don't know, when we come back, that is when FIFA lifts that ban. Maybe we should just look at him and say, you know what, I think it's high time that you get to coach our under-17 national team.
Well, I wonder what you would be thinking about that one, Dave. I know you're going to be watching this one. Do you want the under-17 Warriors job? Maybe so. And I'm sure you can set it in the comments section as well. But moving quickly from there, we did have some rugby over the weekend and some interesting results that came through. We're going to start off with the match that happened on Weaver Field, just along, Borodale Road. It's St. George's. And Peterhouse were able to pick up their first big win of the season because they had won against smaller sides, the CBC, Waizao, they are smaller sides.
Okay, that's
Peterhouse against CBC, it's supposed to be a Peterhouse Kings victory. Straight. Waizao, it should be a Peterhouse victory. Straight. There's no question about that one. But in any case, they got a big win, winning 17-7. It was scrappy. It was brutal. There was actually a very serious injury. One of the youngsters from St. George's, broke a bone. He had to be ferried off by the ambulance. But I caught up with Dave Kirkman, who actually said that Peterhouse made this victory more difficult than it needed to be.
No, we just take one game at a time, and we just never know what to expect with the kids. Obviously you hope for a win. We made it very hard for ourselves. We had two guys off the field and making some silly decisions, but very happy that we managed to squeeze out a win on Weaver Field because it is difficult.
All right, particularly in the first half, you totally shut St. George's down. They just couldn't get moving. They just couldn't find rhythm, and you did the job early on, getting those 10 points in the first half.
Yeah, it was, but we made it hard in the second half, and we allowed them to come back into the game, and we made some silly decisions and didn't pass when we should have, and that's just schoolboy rugby. So it was just happy to have the win. Yeah.
Yes, one of the major things as well that have just been talked about is that Peterhouse was in look for a win against a very big side, and you've got a big win against a very big side.
Yes, it is, and hopefully that'll give us confidence going into our last 3 games. Every game is difficult, but you need the confidence to go into the game, so hopefully that'll help us. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you, Dave, and I'm sure the celebrations will continue in Marondera.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks to St. George's for an outstanding game and for their hospitality around. Okay.
Well, that was Dave Kirkman there, and he says hopefully that can spur his side on to other matches because they've got 3 big matches that are left within the season, inclusive of a return leg. Now, if there's a man that is looking forward to that return leg, that's Ricky Chirengende. Now, that's 2 losses on the bounce, lost to Falcon before the midterm break, and has lost to Peterhouse. Let's hear his.
Yeah, I think part of my team talk to the lads was, we shouldn't look to ignite a fire into them for them to play, and I think we allowed Peterhouse to have a whole lot of ascendancy in the first half, much better in the second half, but against a quality side, if you let them take an early lead, it's always going to be hard to play catch up.
And it was always going to be very difficult for you. You've got close to 9 boys missing from going to participate in the Craven Week, Academy Week, and all sorts of things there. So that was always also going to be a challenge.
Yes, I think we were always proud and happy for our guys to represent the nation. And again, it gives an opportunity for guys in the system to step up. I think some of them did. We did fall short, but yet again, it was an opportunity to see some new faces in the jerseys, and I think it's going to bode well in the future.
Oh yes, how important do you think as well missing the leadership of your captain Nathaniel Ungwe, who's also got a broken hand, was to not being able to just lift the side, especially in the tough times against Peterhouse?
Massive. He's an incredible player on and off the field, and I think not having him out there just made the job that much tougher. But I think Tino also stepped up to the plate and he did his best. So we've got 3 more games to go, and I think the incentive there is to try and make the wrongs right that we got wrong today.
Oh yeah, I do know that there is going to be a return leg. I'm sure you'll be waiting for that with all of your boys back in camp.
Yeah, and it's going to be good having our guys back, and with St. John's coming here, it's always a tasty fixture. So yeah, it's always good to be, to have we've been very unlucky with injuries. I think in the last 2 games we've lost about 5 or 6 players. So I think this break next week comes at a good time, and hopefully we've got a full bill of health when St. John's come here.
Well, having missed a lot of the young boys due to Craven Week, I think you can just feel that at the end of the day, it was a slightly unfortunate. But something as well that is coming under the cosh and that is coming under scrutiny is the level of officiating at schoolboy matches.
Look, the level of officiating, not just at school level, high school level, but there's also primary, there's also club level. I was at Belgrave Sports Club yesterday, and I watched the match between Zimbabwe and Republic taking on Ontario. And they had to substitute a referee due to poor officiating. Can you imagine? That's the level of officiating. I mean, what I would like to maybe put out there is Zimbabwe Rugby Union, they need to take ex-players and maybe try to convince them to get involved in refereeing and match officiating, because they have a better understanding of the game. So they need to dig in deep and make sure that they attract players to come in and help.
But then again, I would also want to place a little bit of an argument. Aren't the Zimbabwe Rugby Referees Society trying to also do their best? Because as a match official or as a referee, all you have to do is continuously be going over the laws. Now there are new laws that were introduced in the game right now. So these are things that you would be getting updates on through World Rugby as a match referee. And also if you want to be at the levels of Precious Pazani, Talent Gandiwa, who are now being called on an international level, is it not up to you to better yourself in your profession?
Look, Precious Pazani is an ex-player. Remember, she used to play for whatever it is back in the days. And Talent, I'm pretty sure that he played for some club. I'm pretty sure I'll check again. But look, it's easier to interpret something that you've been involved with for a couple of years, and it's also important for the referees as well to invest in whatever they are doing as far as officiating is concerned. Look, you spoke about the new laws. But look, there are some things that are basic that they could, especially for the game that I watched against Ontario, that they could reinterpret. For example, if a player gets tackled or held in the tackle, if his knee is down, one knee is down, it's a tackle, right? Yes. But it was very unfortunate for the referee. He couldn't interpret that. So it was just bizarre to watch, trust me. So that's why they had to substitute a referee.
All right, well, moving away from the referees, just in case you think we might be personal, we're just simply saying that the match officiating has to go to another level. A youngster got a bone broken in this match, and the referee actually allowed play to continue, coming from a late tackle. Wow. And these are things that once a late tackle is done, whether a bone is broken or not, immediately play is stopped and a penalty is given. Yep. And a yellow card immediately comes out, because these are the laws that are there within the game. But in any case, let's move away from there. Let's quickly look at it. Peter House have finally got a big win against Georges. And there was also a shock win as Hellenic beat Falcon 17-14 down in Esigodini in the Mad Dogs pit. Wow. And I know that both sides, Georges and Falcon, were missing their key players due to the under-18 academy week. But also at the same time, how much does this now mean for rugby?
Oh, it's a good sign, I think, because I'm pretty sure that we've been covering high school rugby for the past 3 episodes. We've been doing follow-up and just analyzing all the games. Look, I don't know if it was COVID or what, but the youngsters came out very hungry, and the level of rugby that they're playing there, trust me, it's very, very interesting.
Very interesting. Other results that came through, Lomagandi got another one over St. John's College, winning 40 points to 12. Churchill were also back on the bandwagon of winning 41 points to 12. If I'm correct, against Wise Owl. Heritage also doing their business right under the covers this time round, showing Gateway a bit of a lesson, winning 41 points to 15 in that particular encounter. But of course, moving away from schoolboy sport, we'll be coming back and talking transfer zone news and the British Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz with a big win. Transfer zone has been horrible for Man United. Well, they signed some youngster from Feyenoord. I don't even know what that is. And then Cristiano Ronaldo wakes up in the morning and then decides, guess what, guys? If you get a good offer, let me go, because in Antambe Angu Europa League football.
Cristiano Ronaldo is a world-class player, and to be honest, it would be an insult for him to play in the Europa Champions League. I don't know what you call it. It's Europa, what is it?
Europa League.
Or Europa Champions League. But look, it's not.
Says a Liverpool guy for close to 30 years. You weren't even. These people. But anyway. But no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. But look, I think at the end of the day, for Man United, they are saying they are trying to seal some deals. Frankie de Jong is still on the cards. Jurrien Timber is also on the cards, trying to get quite a number of Dutch boys to come through. And apparently it is being rumored by some of the UK newspapers that this is the strategy that Louis van Gaal, came through. He actually said, get Dutch players because they'll be successful. But that's also a little bit iffy because Memphis Depay came, he had a horrible time. Daley Blind came, he had a decent time.
But
so
Van Persie earlier on.
Van Persie angatopera sugar kudara. I mean,
he
look,
scored like 20 goals in this
angapera sugar mfesi. That was spurred on by Ferguson. But anyway, let's move on to Arsenal actually, whilst you're talking about that. And Arsenal have just completed the signing of Gabriel Jesus. For just about 45 million. What was amazing is he's still actually 25 years of age.
Yeah, he came in the fold. I remember he was playing in Brazil, and Manchester City just managed to, they bought him for I think it was a big check for a player of that age. And now moving on to Manchester, to Arsenal. Hopefully that it will change the fortunes of the Gunners.
Yeah, look, I'm sure it will, because Gabriel Jesus actually scored a decent amount of goals even as he left this season.
I didn't say that's going to happen.
No, it should happen. Why? Because Mikel Arteta was assistant coach under Pep Guardiola whilst Jesus was there. So he has a better understanding of the young man and how to fully deploy him, whether it's going to be on the left wing or as a central striker and all. So he's now got 4 Brazilians in his side, and 3 of them are Gabriel's. So I wonder what he's going to say when he's trying to call them to the touchline. Gabriel, come here. All 3 of them will come. Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel the defender, Gabriel the striker.
That one is a French player. Gabriel the defender.
No, Gabriel Magalhães. No, he's Brazilian, my guy. Very Brazilian.
Okay.
You see? So anyway, 3 Brazilians. Gabriel, come here. All 3 come. I think that's going to be comedy stuff. But also looking at it, Chelsea are still looking to seal the deal for Raheem Sterling to come through from Man City. But I still feel that it is a wrong signing because they need a gunman, not another winger. They've got more than enough wingers, more than enough midfield players in order to get their business done. Let's now go to the British Grand Prix. Now, Lewis Hamilton usually wins this one, but because Mercedes is having a horrible season, and well, they're getting better, Carlos Sainz picked up his first victory ever.
Wow.
In Formula One racing, and it was a Ferrari. He's driving the Ferrari, so he takes 1. Sergio Perez takes 2, and then Lewis Hamilton completed the podium finishes as he took number 3. But talking about it, these are number 2 drivers who are in 1 and 2 that are now trumping, fighting for their lives and actually pushing for the championship, drivers' championship.
I don't know. I think momentum is swung. I was expecting Max Verstappen to be, finish at least number 2 position, but unfortunately he finished at number 6. I don't know what is happening with Verstappen. Maybe he was focusing more on his rivalry against Lewis Hamilton, and then he forgets about every other thing. I'm pretty sure that at the back of his mind is he's heard that Lewis Hamilton finished 3rd and he finished 6th. Well, instead of just focusing on the number 1 finish. Look, a couple of things have been happening, and especially for this gentleman who won his first race in the first one, 150 races. Yeah. Obviously, he wants to win the next one. So it's going to be difficult now for Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. They are now playing catch up.
Oh yes, a lot of catch up. But talking about catch up, Mercedes seem to be doing that. At the start of the season, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell were busy struggling in number 5, 6, 7 positions. And now Lewis Hamilton has been able to get himself on podium finishes, not necessarily winning, but getting there into the number 3 position in more recent times. So finally, it seems like something is working for Mercedes.
Yeah. Look, maybe what they sit down and maybe look at the car and some of the engineering challenges that they were having, and you know what, they are now slowly creeping into the winning form. And obviously, you would expect them to finish higher up there, because look, Germans, when it comes to engines, they are, we can say they are the best.
Oh yes, and don't forget, we also do have Stephanie Travers, who is the fluid engineer there. Well, that brings us to the end of the show this week. Like, share, comment, subscribe. We're looking forward to all of your comments as they are coming through. We have been trying to respond to some of them on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Keep them coming through. We'll keep up with that, and we'll continuously bring you all of the sporting action. Well, it leaves me to thank our resident analyst, Sydney Saunders. Sydney, great having you on the show. Of course, stop being pompous as Liverpool. You might be fighting for 4th this season, having let go of Sadio Mane, but we'll be monitoring all of that as it happens, as always, right here on Sports Extra, your premium online sports show. But up until next week, cheerio.